Yeah, I'm going to lay some things out that you just heard in that promo as we get ready for tomorrow's big Wednesday night special. And the Wednesday night special is about the lies and the deception and the things that the press is doing just because they want to defeat Trump. And I understand why they want to defeat Trump more and more every day, because he doesn't answer to anyone except you. And that's a problem, especially with what's going down in the world. Boy, we'd be in so much trouble. This all would have happened had Hillary Clinton been the president of the United States. And it's going to happen if Joe Biden is president. I personally think we're going to have a really tough fight on our hands, but I want you to hear what is now coming out of the Global Economic Forum. The Global Economic Forum is now talking about a great reset. We're not talking about a restart. Remember that V-shaped economy? We're going to turn it off and then we're going to turn it right back on and we're going to have a V-shaped economy. Well, it's not happening, and it wouldn't have ever happened. It's a ridiculous idea. So now the Economic Forum is talking about the Great Reset. And I just want to read to you what they've been, what they're up to. No jobs, few crops, coronavirus, and pests leave Nepal fearing hunger. How Europe can emerge stronger out of the coronavirus. Although some people have been warning us, like Bill Gates in his 2015 TED Talk, we were underprepared. Unfortunately, it often takes a tragedy to respond in a coordinated, divisive way, just like my country, the Netherlands, experienced in 1953 when the dikes broke. Even when the virus was spreading in China, we didn't see it coming. Neither when it hit Asia or Italy. At that moment, we still felt reasonably safe in the rest of Europe or the U.S., but it turned out to impact all of us, and now also Latin America and Africa. And we went into lockdown to contain the spread of the virus within the capacity of our healthcare systems. We succeeded in many ways, but at a substantial economic, societal, and personal cost. A societal cost, think of that. With the help of distancing, protection measures, testing, and tracing, we are easing lockdowns while working hard on vaccines and treatments. And then, back to January 2020, when all was, quote, still normal and good, end quote. No! Exclamation point. We need a great reset. That should be our response to coming back better from COVID-19. It requires improving global multilateral cooperation, aligning both the recovery of our economies and priorities of our societies. For the Great Reset to succeed, we have to change the way we do business and manage health, nature, the environment, and societal issues at the same time. Isn't that what you wanted, Stu? That's what you were looking for, wasn't it?
Exactly. Word for word.
Yeah. Despite the unprecedented impact and global spread, there was little cooperation between countries. In many aspects, it was every man for himself when buying ventilators, face mask tests, and more. As healthcare for governments is a domestic issue, countries didn't explore multilateral joint approaches to the solution. Oh my gosh. Forget Obamacare. Could we have global care? Let's hope that this wasn't a litmus test for the other cross-border crises like climate change. Only via collaboration with countries can we address such issues. The virus hit when many countries around the globe were already demonstrating nationalistic sympathies by looking for their interests first, often driven by the feeling of several who experienced or felt left out of the benefits of globalization. However, withdrawing behind the dikes is not the solution. So all of you America First people, stop hiding behind the dike. There's nothing to fear here. Globalism is coming and it's good. We know that the world will spend trillions of dollars on repairing our economies from this disaster through debt relief programs. Oh, really? They're going to relieve our debt? Income support programs, fiscal stimuli, and other interventions. It would be a wasted opportunity then only to focus on a restart. as we have a fundamental issue in our society. Our economy, our environment, our society, they need to be addressed as well. We should have more ambition than go back to the pre-COVID days. Part of these trillions has got to go to reset and reform our societies instead of simply restart. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that no money should be spent on a restart. If we can't partly get back to normal, we won't have the income streams to make any reforms. But there are 3 areas that are key. First, what do you think the first one is, Stu? That's key. Come on.
I mean, there's so many key elements. There's spending more money.
No, there's only 3.
There's more control from the government centrally, I think, is really an important thing. Maybe higher
so
taxes.
Bigoted. Listen. No, you're
recognizing gender.
You're inequality.
Oh.
Inequality. Billions of people around the world in many countries have benefited from globalization, but not all the people in all countries, and not all countries either. Globalization brought prosperity and further inequality at the same moment. Due to unemployment, we risk increased inequality within countries, hitting the weakest the hardest. There's also a risk of inequality growing between countries. Despite much progress, the developing world can be hit harder by COVID-19 than the developed world, and later, or a more limited access to vaccines would exacerbate this problem. For economic response, we can find inspiration in the Marshall Plan, which was developed by the United States nearly 75 years ago in the wake of World War II. Not as a favor to Europe, but to help the continent recover after they, together with the Canadians and British, liberated Europe. We can learn from the leadership shown in that period and will create multilateralism. After all, the United Nations was founded for this. There's something similar we in the West can now do for developing countries, especially in Africa. Increase resilience, help the recovery, ensure people have an economic future. We must invest now. These investments, not aid, should be directed towards increasing self-sufficiency through improved food systems, blah, blah, blah. The second is climate change. We should be careful we don't postpone the actions to combat climate change. Unlike COVID-19, we can't say in a few years that we didn't see climate change coming. The Paris Treaty has demonstrated that at least we were aware. This critical question now is how we can take more, faster action with more emphasis on sustainability and circularity. What the hell is circulator? Then the third one, and you're going to love this one, a change in capitalism. What? The focus should shift from short-term and profit only to longer-term, incorporating value creation for people and the planet, moving from shareholder value to stakeholder value. With the economy in a recession, it is tempting to look to short-term profits by declaring cash is king and postponing investments. That applies to both countries and companies. However, it would be wise if countries would spend on rebuilding the economy and investing in new technologies to stimulate the fourth industrial revolution, investing in a better future. Long-term investments are needed from companies too, and it requires leadership and guts, as there will be many temptations to focus on the short term. Our longer-term economic strategy should remain anchored in addressing the Sustainable Development Goals. Oh, that's Agenda 21. And we should not lose sight of those. Oh, man, this is great. So what we're going to do is, instead of just going back and getting back into, work and doing the things that we do best, no. Now we're going to have a global governance that wants to take care of these 3 things. They're going to take care of inequality, making sure everybody is equal. Then they're going to take care of climate change and reinvent capitalism. This is fantastic. This meeting happens January 2021, and they are already working on the plans on what they're going to do. And wait until you hear who's there, because everybody's there. No, Donald Trump's not there, but everybody else is there. The world is moving on without us, gang. I say, bye-bye. Have fun storming the castle. I'm not going with you.